In this video we're going to look at trench installation safety. One of the important things about pipe laying and any other construction activity is doing it safely. That means not just for the people doing the work, but also for members of the public. The thing about trenching is that you are opening up a large hole in the ground, and there are a whole lot of hazards that are associated with that. As well as using big machinery, which also has a whole lot of hazards associated with it. So the first thing is you are opening up holes in the ground which cars can drive in or people can fall down. So when the trench is being left open, you need to take measures to make sure that people can't fall into the hole or cars can't drive in. So you can see here they've got steel plates, so they've opened up a hole, an excavation there, and they've got steel plates. Another option, or not as good as steel plates, but is barriers as well. The other thing about safety is that a trench, when it's opened up, it can collapse. So the rules say that deeper than 1.5 meters, there should be a site supervisor on site. There should be trench shields and that sort of stuff used. If it's dangerous at 1 meter, you should be using safety mechanism. Trench shields or whatever it is for that if it's shallow and unsafe as well. So that's just a guide. Cave-ins, if it collapses on someone, they don't even have to be buried to suffer injury. Soil weighs 2 tons, 2.5 tons per cubic meter. Having that sitting on your chest can cause you to suffocate, even if your mouth is out of the ground. It can break ribs, it can cause internal damage as well. Another thing about trenches is people working in the trench at risk of things falling on them from above. So there might be workers working above, falling tools sort of falling down on them. And another thing is when you're trenching is that there are underground services, so you could be hitting power lines and other water mains, gas mains. So you should be aware of where the services are. You should be potholing before you start doing the trenching to make sure that you're not going to be digging up any underground services. The machinery that you use is also quite big, it's quite dangerous, and oftentimes you're working in the middle of a community as well. So there's the public safety of vehicles, hitting pedestrians, there's kids, open trenches running and falling into it, and you're normally working within limited space if you're working on an existing road or something. So there's you need to set up barriers and fences to make sure that the public and the work site don't interact and cause problems. Another thing, if you're working down deep, if you're working in a deep trench, or if you're working in a manhole or anything underground, you're working in a confined space. Confined spaces can be dangerous because if there's gases being produced, if there's a leaky gas pipeline, or there's natural production of methane or hydrogen sulfide, if you're working close to a sewer or in a sewer, hydrogen sulfide and methane are produced, and these are heavier than air gases, and they will migrate down to the lowest point, which is usually the manhole or something like that. There are two main risks associated with that, and that's asphyxiation. You can go down and these heavier gases drive the air out, and so you can suffocate, and it can happen very quickly. There's also toxic gases. Hydrogen sulfide in particular can actually poison you. High doses of hydrogen sulfide can also numb the nose, so you may well have smelt it and then your nose is numbed and you don't realize that you're breathing in toxic material, hydrogen sulfide, and that can kill you as well. And there's also the explosive aspect of some gases such as methane or leaky gas mains. Once again, you get down there, if you even something as much as a camera or a cell phone can actually set off the gases and cause an underground explosion. So there are a lot of risks associated when you're sort of working down below ground. Nowadays you're required to have proper training if you're working below ground. There are a lot of rules related to trenching and what you can and you can't do when you're actually doing the trenching operation. And the reason for that is that there are a lot of people that have been killed. There are a few people killed every year doing trenching or working underground. So that's why they're so staunch about it.